So,
Yep.
all right, Minnesota, Nevada. We got Dave and Kurt here, so I'm sure they have a lot of thoughts on this. So, guys, chime in if you got thoughts. I am looking at this Minnesota team, 2 shutouts in a row. Zach. Now, granted, it's Rhode Island and it's Nevada, but there's been a lot of other teams who played teams similar to Rhode Island, Nevada that didn't get shutouts. So
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to give them props for that. This defense looks good. It looks like they're doing everything they should be. Everything they should be doing right now. Max Brosmer throwing the ball deep a little bit more on this one. Now he's not completing them very often. I think he was 1 for
Mm-hmm.
4 on deep passes with no drops to on Saturdays. So you'd like to see a little bit more of those, but I like that they're actually passing the ball more downfield and they're keeping the defense honest with that. Because if you're not doing that, you are going to see 8-9 man boxes and you're going to see a lot more press coverage against your guys. That's going to take away those underneath throws that Max Brosmer has been going after so much. Now he is
Mm-hmm.
getting the ball out very quick, which I think is excellent, but is that more because he doesn't want to go deep, or is that more because the offensive line is struggling to protect him? I don't know. I'm genuinely asking the question. I don't know. I think we're gonna find out more in the coming weeks as they get into Big Ten play. But I think Max Brosmer is probably the best quarterback, if not the second best quarterback that PJ Fleck has ever had. Tanner Morgan would obviously have a an argument there, but I mean, I like this Minnesota team more than other people do. I feel like they
Mm-hmm.
kind of got shafted against North Carolina because of their kicker, but overall, like I see some positive things from Minnesota. I just need for him to capitalize on it. What do you think?
Um, I, I think PJ Fleck shafted them more than the kicker, but that's my thought.
I knew you'd
Um,
go there.
um, I will say this though, and you guys know I have my two coaches that I give a lot of crap to, PJ Fleck and Mike Locksley. Having said that, I do think PJ Fleck has done a good job of trying to use these last 2 games to open things up for Brosmer. And I think he needs to do that, especially against an Iowa team that has shown deficiency on the back end. So the question is, will Brosmer and Fleck trust the line enough to give him opportunities downfield for next week? But I mean, this was Minnesota, Nevada I don't think was ever going to be in doubt, in question. Defenses played well. The real question is, can they air it out enough to get running lanes open for their dangerous running backs? Like, they have a really good running back core led by Darius Taylor, who was, again, great. I think he averaged over 10 yards a carry this past week. So, but and I think Kurt said it in the chat, like the O line is struggling, which is surprising, with Ariante Urise and all them boys.
It's
Like,
I think it's how much they're rotating them, man. I mean,
yeah,
they got the center they want, but they're rotating those guards and some of the tackles a little bit too much in my mind. Like I said in the last episode, 2019 they did it and they went 11-2. So far for me to say
well,
it's a bad decision when you go 11-2 when you do that, but still, like I I
I
don't know.
think,
I always get concerned when people are rotating the offensive line.
yeah. Well, what's the expression? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, in 2019 it worked. It typically doesn't work. So maybe get off of it and just establish your line.
Dave says the only thing that pissed me off was Jerry kept in our starting quarterback Max when the game is clearly ours. He didn't come out until the last 2 minutes. I always have a hard time with that stuff because I see exactly what Dave is saying, but at the same time, like, is it worth it to have Max out there a little bit longer so that way he starts gelling with his receivers more, maybe build up some confidence, maybe let him throw the ball down the field a little bit more in those situations? I always go back and forth on it. Like I said, I see where Dave is coming from. I'm not saying Dave's wrong, but I also, see the benefit of keeping him in there a little bit longer too. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think Iowa is going to be a really really good test to see what this Minnesota team has become. We were just talking about how Iowa their secondary was struggling this last week and how they're not been as good as we thought. If this Minnesota passing game is what it needs to be, they should be able to get a touchdown pass or two and have some good yardage here against Iowa. Now it's going to be a really hard feat. Iowa's a very well coached defense, but still, like, if they're going to make this happen, they're going to have the opportunity to do it against Iowa this week.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So, all right. Kurt said, "Yeah, the QB sneak up 27 with 5 minutes left was interesting. That's true. The QB
Yeah,
sneak. I forgot about that one.
that's dumb. That was a dumb call.
I forgot about that one.